My plasmatics.
The world's gone mad out there. Ain't safe for old gal with stars in her eyes.
Name's Odessa.
So I'm small and I know I'm young.
My daddy used to tell me my singing had the power to bring light to the darkness and change things.
Sadie Light City. It is a depraved and sinful place. When you sang to me earlier tonight, reminded me of how beautiful some things are.
Praise be Plutonic on high.
Anyone who speaks out against him just gets shipped off, where he tortures them in the name of entertainment.
We have to do something.
This world is cruel, Odessa.
Maybe it doesn't have to be.
We need a revolution. They're gonna get what's coming to them. Mark my words. Oh! Now!
You can bring light to the darkness.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Good, thank you guys. Hi there, Jeremy.
Hey man, long time no see.
Do you have that good a memory?
I do. I remember.
It was so
25
many
years ago today. Yeah.
What?
It was a long time ago. But
I guess going on 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Patti Cakes came out in 2017.
Yeah.
And
Lifetime ago.
I just to this day though I kick myself if you can physically do that, because I loved having you and Danielle was there. You all came down in a car to this place where I did the podcast, or where we did, and Kathy, of course, Moriarty came. And I felt so compelled to get Kathy Moriarty on. She's so iconic, And then I neglected to. I guess I felt maybe it was too greedy to ask for Bridget Everett.
We could have had Bridget.
Oh, geez, don't say that.
We
That
were-
kills me because to this day I was like, what the hell? Like, I loved her performance in Patti Cakes, but I guess I felt like, okay, I got to get Danielle and you.
Yeah.
And then it was between
Yeah,
like I just.
right. No, I'm glad you gave Kathy some love. It was great.
Oh, I have more love, to give, but I have lots of love also to Bridget. But I did run into her then subsequently at a thing I just happened to be at some years later, and I did get to interact, and we had a very nice interaction, and she was just the best. I mean, really great person. So anyway,
Yeah, she's an all-time classic, that's for sure. Yeah.
and isn't like a real one-on-one interaction more important than podcast anyway?
Yeah, I agree.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but okay. After all these years of doing this, no. So anyway, so glad when I saw this come up. I'm like, oh my God, I have such fond memories of meeting you.
Yeah.
And you were really sweet and gracious, and so I was looking forward to doing it again with your latest your film, Odessa.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah,
it's here.
What?
It's here.
It's here. I know you must be very excited. It's going to be premiering in the States anyway on Hulu on the 20th of March.
That's right.
That date's still.
Yep, that's still there.
Okay, so. Yeah. We'll hopefully this will be on just right after the 20th or as of the 20th, and then people can go from here and go and watch Odessa, because it is really 2 for 2, my friend.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was so happy. It was such a fun. It went by like this. It's like it's nonstop. I don't know, just stimulation in only the best way possible. Like you have these absolutely beautiful lead actors and who are just so charismatic and
Yeah.
talented. Did they do their own singing? And I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody sang. There's only one character in it was a Croatian actress who didn't do her own rapping. But besides that, everybody's singing for real. It's a real talented group, especially Sadie and Kelvin. Sadie,
right.
like, had this secret talent. She hadn't sang in public in like over a decade or 15 years or something like that.
Oh,
So
really? But it was, I mean, people probably know her from
they know her from Stranger Things, and
Stranger
before
Things.
that, she kind of entered show business as an 11-year-old playing Annie on Broadway.
Oh, I see.
So
Hmm.
she was like kind of a child prodigy.
Yeah, I mean, if an 11-year-old can do that musical,
It's intense. And I think, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but from what she's told me, that was such a overwhelming experience. And being on Broadway and doing, I don't know, what do you do, 8 shows a week or something like that as a kid. And you've got to sing perfectly. The pressure is so high to be, every
right?
syllable needs to be spot on and pitch perfect. And I had a very different attitude going into this, where, it's the singing can be flawed if it's got feeling, it's
Yeah, yeah. In
but
fact, it's
yeah,
I think with Murray Bartlett, who plays a very, uh, I guess you could say, central role
yeah,
in the film, kind of like a cult leaderish, and TV, host. It's who intentionally has one song which, very intentionally uses, right, the
the auto
uh,
tune,
yeah, right.
yeah,
The what do they call it?
heavy on auto tune, yes,
Auto tune, like to the nth degree, but very much as an intentional ironic way, in an intentional and ironic way. But uh yeah, I was thinking also, and I'm look forward to your response to this, is like 10 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, the idea of doing a musical,
yeah,
yeah, it's probably a little longer than that, but maybe with um I'm just thinking how far back, couple of it sort of started changing, and where musicals now, you have like almost like a generation now where the musical is back full stop, right? And now you can really play with it.
yeah. I mean, musicals always come in and out of fashion. Like, if you
Right.
really look at it, it's like Chicago, when that came out. I don't remember what year that was, but it was a big deal. It was like, oh wow, yeah, the musical's back.
Yeah, and Moulin Rouge, I guess I was trying to remember.
Right. They're sort of like the redheaded stepchild of
Yeah.
cinema, but we all love them
Yeah.
when they're done well and they cut through. And what I'm always interested in them is that there's a inherent surreal quality to a musical. It's heightened reality, or it's not reality. It's a pushed dreamlike world that you go into when there's music involved, and that's exciting to me. That's like, you're able to play with the form and storytelling and twist time and stop time and warp time in a different way when there's music.
Hmm.
Uh,
Right. It's all emotion,
yeah, exactly. Uh,
heightened,
heightened.
and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's there. It's all here in this movie.
Yeah,
Um,
it's operatic. It's big emotions, it's big colors, it's big, it's a lot. Yeah.
So we mentioned Sadie and Murray, and I also have to mention, since we mentioned a couple, of Kevin Harrison, who plays
Kelvin, yeah, Kelvin, yeah,
her
Kelvin,
her love,
yeah, her love interest.
um, and of course, and a very unrecognizable Regina Hall.
Yes.
Really amazing performance there as well. Yeah, it's just so tell me though, like, well, I mean, this is now your second film really centers on music. Uh,
Yes.
was there anything in between I missed?
No, it was this and that. Yeah, it took a lot of years to make
Oh, I
this.
bet.
big undertaking, and starting from scratch and building your own universe, and writing characters from scratch to know it didn't come from a book or a story or anything.
Yeah.
So that just took a lot of years, and writing all that music, and then COVID took a 2-year bite
Oh, of course.
out of the process. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, of course. Where, yeah. So, and how much, like, I mean, Patty Cakes seemed had that real, almost like very indie vibe to it. This
Yes.
one looks like it was very expensive,
But it wasn't.
but it wasn't.
Right, that was the magic.
You can do that now.
Well, we were very diligent in pushing as hard as we could on something like this, and so we shot it in Croatia. We maximized everything that we could to make it feel bigger, but it wasn't. I mean, it was a bigger budget than Patti Cakes, but it wasn't an exorbitant amount of money that we had. Yeah,
That's
it was
good.
pretty limited means, but everybody. It was a real labor of love for everybody. So people push themselves hard to make this world come to life. Yeah.
And you co-wrote the music?
Yeah. I wrote the songs, and Jason Binnick, who's my music partner, we developed them together, and we did.
What's that process like for you guys?
Well, I'm a songwriter first and foremost, and that's kind of how I got into Patti Cake. Also, it was like
I
through.
see.
Yeah. So this one, I had a handful of songs. I knew I wanted to make something kind of operatic, kind of a rock opera, which is something that's very, very out of date. But I wanted to use.
I don't know. I think now we are kind of. You might have brought it back into being flavor of the decade. Yeah. We can get to that in a minute. But go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, and so then I had a bunch of songs, and I had songs that kind of fit with the character and fit with the storyline. And so I bring in those songs while I'm writing the script. And here's the chords, here's some of the lyrics, here's the vibe. And then Jason and I, just as a two-headed monster, build those songs out. So we played pretty much all the instruments on the record. And he played the lion's share. He's really a brilliant musician who can play anything. So
what's your instrument?
My instrument is guitar and piano. But Jason's he's a shredder.
Yeah, just one of those people.
One of those people that can pick up anything.
I know. I admire and hate people like that. Although, and he writes this.
Yeah.
But he writes songs too, which is just like, I feel like I can do that. Yeah. I mean, I thought I had some musical, talent, but I don't, not to that degree, certainly.
Yeah. So it made things really nice for me, because I could always go into his studio and we can work on the tunes. And then, it took years and years to get this thing going. And then finally we had a script and all these demos. And it was like, okay, here's a world here. You can listen to the entire film before we even shot it. So that was exciting for me to like jump. We're going to create a new world. We're going to create a different kind of musical world. It's not, this isn't Wicked. This isn't a Broadway style musical. Or maybe it is.
Don't discount. We'll edit that part out. You don't know, and I'm just saying, seriously. I mean, look at what happened with, oh gosh darn it, what's the one from Berlin? Come on, it was off Broadway, huh?
Not Cabaret, no.
No. The good guess, but I'm talking about probably about 20 years ago.
Okay.
A dark kind of. This is what the part I can't stand.
Dark Berlin musical.
Yes, much more about sexual identity and
Spring. Is that right? I don't know.
What's that?
It's not Spring Awakening.
No. But anyway, I'm sure the publicist is listening and they can write in and
screaming, but whatever.
It's the last name of the character, and they are like go through a gender changing.
Oh, I don't know this one.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Look, because
Hedwig.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Thank you.
Great classic. Yeah.
I mean, if that can become like a Broadway musical and a movie, I'm pretty sure Odessa could. I don't think
I mean, it would be my dream for it to have another life on stage.
to work backward. I mean,
It was written initially for
Sure.
something on stage.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, that was an initial impulse 20 years ago.
All right. I see. It makes sense. And do you have? I mean, any other? I don't know. Were there any sort of seminal rock operas that had
Yeah,
oh, I'd love to do that.
yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of The Wall. I grew up
Yeah.
on
Well,
Pink Floyd, and I like Tommy a lot. I like the
yeah.
idea of Tommy more than maybe, and I like Quadrophenia. But there's a David Bowie record called Diamond Dogs. I don't know if you know
Sure.
it. It's great, and
Yeah. Sure.
it's kind of a concept record that he wanted to do for the stage.
Huh.
The stage did a little bit, but then it was so expensive, and then he changed the tour. But he always wanted it to be a stage show, kind of a rock opera stage show that he dreamt of turning it into a film. And it's dystopian. It's kind of 1984 meets William Burroughs,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a big influence on Odessa for me. Yeah, that kind of flavor, that kind of glam dystopia.
Yeah. Well, so how do you think it turned out? And
It's there's some things I'm super proud of. There's some things that I can't believe we pulled off. And then
yeah.
like any director who gets their work has to finish the work. I could have kept working on that forever.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm always of two minds of it. I can't sit
Right.
and watch it, but at
Right.
the same time, there were a lot of things that I have dreamt about doing since I was a teenager that we got to do on this.
Oh,
film.
that's true.
Yeah,
You can
so that
feel
was
like
so there were certain things. I was like, wow,
right.
that's major for me. I got to record with like a 12-piece gospel choir. That was something I've always wanted to do. I
Mhm.
got to, build my own little city that was almost like our own backlot in the middle of this marketplace. And I got to shoot with an old woman who had no eyes and didn't speak English. And
One would have thought that was like CG, but it was really an actor.
prosthetics. Yeah, it was this poor woman who's in her 70s and in pretty rough shape health-wise and couldn't walk and couldn't speak English. Had to put these prosthetics on her eyes that she was blinded for, I think, 8 hours. And took her out on this pier at about 1 o'clock in the morning to shoot this scene. And if she took 2 steps to her right, she was going to fall into the ocean.
Oh, I shouldn't
So it
laugh.
was, yeah, it
Well,
was.
well, what did she think? Did she get to?
I haven't heard from her yet. I don't think she hasn't seen the final thing, but I hope she's happy.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you have a festival premiere then? And I missed it.
We played at South by last week.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
2024.
2025.
Oh, it was just last month. You mean?
It was like a week and a half ago.
Oh, 2 weeks. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It was really fun. It was a great spot for the film. Yeah.
The audience was very responsive and very
They were
appreciative.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did anybody come from the film? Was anybody able to make it?
Yeah. Sadie was there, and Kelvin and Regina. Unfortunately, Murray's shooting. Fortunate for him, but unfortunately for us, he's shooting in Ireland. So
yeah. Well, that guy's career is taken off again, or
he's major.
We're watching The White Lotus. It's so everybody.
Yeah.
It's gotten so much attention because of course, Parker Posey in this season. And we realized that like last year it was Jennifer. Jennifer. See, this is what I could talk about it all the time, and I get on the podcast and things start to just evaporate from my memory. And then the first year though, I was saying the standout character was Murray's character. He was the manager of the.
I think he's there's some pretty iconic actors and characters in the last 3 seasons, but he's top. He's the best. He's the one
that performance was really
incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
And he
It's
brings all of that energy that he had brought to that and everything else he's been doing to Odessa,
yeah,
which when you hear this or watch this, it'll be already available on Hulu. And I strongly recommend you go and watch it. It's really, really entertaining. So go to however you can see it on the biggest screen possible and turn up the volume another decibel. It
that's right.
sounds fantastic. And there is a soundtrack because there are singles coming from this movie.
Yeah. Soundtrack just came out on Hollywood Records, and you can stream it everywhere. And yeah,
Right.
check it out. Check out
Was it?
Sadie singing. She's a force of
Oh my.
nature.
Yeah, I think you really broke her out into now as like a young adult. I don't know, like one of these obnoxious multi hyphenates that
Yeah.
you know, like he kind of did that for uh for Danielle. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking of also.
yeah.
I mean, and you didn't hurt Bridget Everett's career. She was, of course, known really more in New York City, I guess, but then she became this national
Separation. Yeah.
phenomenon. Now look at her. So you really have a great eye for talent. I think that's
Ah,
what we're
I mean, thank you. Yeah, I mean, Sadie was already established, so it was a little bit
right.
bigger, but I couldn't really imagine anybody else playing this role. She's
Yeah.
like the right age, the right physicality, the right soul, the right voice.
Yeah. No, it works so well. It's such a beautiful movie. Congratulations, and I hope we can do this again.
Let's do
And
it again.
folks,
It's sooner than, a decade, but yes.
yeah, fingers crossed there are no pandemics in the meantime, so to slow it down. But thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right,
Talking to you. Good to
you
see you.
bet. Same here.
All
All
right.
right, take
Bye.
care.